Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. Today is the last day of July, which means July wrap-up time. I've been really excited to do these kinds of wrap-up videos. I usually do wrap-ups on Instagram, and I can never really go too in-depth with them, so this should be fun. So I'm happy I get to do this here. So in July, I didn't read as much as I usually do. I read 12 books, plus a couple of short, smutty novellas. So I haven't been reading that much lately, partly because of me starting, a booktube. So I'm filming and editing a lot. So I guess I'll start off with my favorite reads of the month, which are Say You Still Love Me by K. Tucker, The Right Swipe by Alisha Rai, and War by Thalassa. I talked about this one in my August anticipated releases video, but I adored this book. I loved it so much. It was sweet, it was heartwarming, it's such a good second chance romance. Like if you loved Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, you'll probably enjoy this one too. Like the whole falling in love while you're kids. Fast forward a decade later and they reunite and they realize that they're still in love with each other. The book is beautifully written. If you've read The Simple Wild, which is one of my favorite books from last year, the writing is just as good. It's coming out next week, August 6th, along with a bunch of other fantastic books, so keep an eye out for it. So I just finished The Right Swipe by Alisha Rai yesterday, and it was so good. I absolutely adored it. I love the sweetheart of a hero. He's such a teddy bear. He's big and huge because he was a former football player, but he's got such a soft heart. He is so sweet, so respectful. He's such a wonderful swoony hero. And he was the perfect fit and match for Rhiannon, who is the ball-busting CEO of a dating app called Crush. She built that app from the ground up, but despite her being the creator of a dating app, she's pretty cynical when it comes to love. The first time Samson and Rhiannon met, it was through Crush, and they had a wonderful one-night stand, and even though it seemed like there could have been something more, Samson ended up ghosting Rhiannon and killing any trust that she built with him. So when he shows up again a few months later as the new spokesman of a rival dating app company, she pretty much doesn't want anything to do with him. She takes guarding your heart to a whole different level, but the more you read, the more you realize and find out that there is more to her story. By the end of the book, I couldn't help but admire what a strong, empowering woman that she is. The book also has some great discussions about sexual assault in the workplace, as well as CTE, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but it has to do with sports-related brain injuries like concussions from football. Samson's family has a history of CTE. Overall, the romance is super sweet. I would have liked something a little bit more at the end, but I mean, I just adored Samson and Rhiannon. They were perfect for each other. They're both such strong characters individually, but together they made something really special. So next in my wrap-up is War by Thalassa. If you haven't already watched my War video, please check it out. I'll leave a link to it down below or at the end of the video. But this one is a fantasy romance about the Four Horsemen, specifically about war. I love this book. I love this series. It's such a fantastic new adult fantasy series. You get sucked into this post-apocalyptic dystopian world where the Four Horsemen pretty much take over and destroy the population. It's just so wild, so crazy, but like seeing this formidable otherworldly being fall in love with, a human is pretty awesome. I love this book. Definitely lived up to my expectations from Pestilence, and I am so excited for the next book, which is Famine. So my next book is Stranger in My Arms by Lisa Kleypas. I actually read 2 Lisa Kleypas books this month. This was the first. I freaking love this one. This one is where the heroine's husband, who she did not have a good relationship with, they didn't like each other very much. She was unhappy in her marriage, but he ends up dying. And for the next year, she pretty much gets to live her life as she wants it as a free widow. But a year later, someone shows up who looks a lot like her dead husband, who knows things that only her dead husband would know. except this time, instead of being the dismissive, unloving husband that he used to be, he is very much into Lara and wants this marriage to succeed. I just love these two. I love their journey towards like a real loving relationship and marriage, and this is definitely one of my new favorites from Alisha Kleypas. My other Alisha Kleypas read was Then Came You. This is the first book in the Gamblers of Craven series. Honestly, I read it just so I could read book 2, which everyone loves. But Then Came You was a really good read. It was a 4-star read for me. Not quite the 5-star that Stranger in My Arms was, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, I love Alisha Kleypas' writing. I love her heroes. And in this book, we get a fiery, headstrong, reckless heroine who tries to derail her sister's plans from marrying Alex, who she sees as like cold, arrogant, and not at all the right fit for her sister. If you love enemies to lovers, if you love great banter, great tension, you love characters that challenge each other, bring out the most and best of each other, you definitely should read this one. Honestly, I loved it because the heroine is just so wild and not your typical ladylike heroine that you see in historical romances. Next up is Brazen and the Beast by Sarah MacLean. This is book 2 in the Bare Knuckle Bastards series. It can be read as a standalone. This one is Whit's story, and he ends up falling for Lady Henrietta, Hattie. I really did try to love this one. Like, I love Sarah MacLean. I loved her Rules of Scoundrel series. I loved her Scandal and Scoundrel series. But this Bare Knuckle Bastards series just doesn't seem to be working for me. Both the first book and this book were 3-star reads for me. Like, they're not bad, but I don't really connect with them. I don't really connect with the characters. This one had a lot of potential for me, and I really did enjoy like the first half of the book. The heroine Hattie is making her 29th birthday, the start of the year of Hattie, where she pretty much claims her life, her fortune, her business, everything for herself. She takes charge of her life, and I was super excited to see how that would turn out. It didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to. It mostly went in the direction of Hattie and Whit learning each other and their bodies. So there's a lot of sexy times, but I kind of wanted more than that, so that was why I didn't really connect with the story. But that being said, I am very, very excited for the third book, Daring and the Duke. This couple has been hyped and teased throughout the whole series. I can't freaking wait for it. Like, the hero of the third book believes that his heroine has been dead for years, but she's not dead, of course. They used to be childhood sweethearts, and I'm sure once he finds out that she's still alive, he'll do anything to find out where she is. Next up is One Fine Duke by Lenora Bell. I enjoyed this one so much. This was my first read by Lenora Bell, and it definitely won't be my last. You can check out my review in the link down below. It was so much fun to read. It's a great historical romance. The heroine wants to experience freedom and adventure that she never got to, living under her overprotective uncle, and she also wants to be a spy, which was awesome. The hero has PTSD from when he was kidnapped as a boy, so he pretty much wants to live his life in seclusion in the country. These two have very different personalities, very different wants out of life, but they couldn't help but connect with each other, care for each other, and seeing them fall in love with each other is just so sweet, so adorable, and I highly recommend it. Next up is another new to me author. It's Tangle by Adriana Locke. I didn't really love this one all that much. Like, it was okay, 3 stars. It was nothing really special to me. It's a small town romance. Small town romances are a hit or miss for me, and this one was a bit of a miss for me. I didn't really see anything special about the characters, about the story. It's like a playboy who doesn't believe in love or wants love in his life with a heroine who does want love. And of course they fall in love with each other. I really can't remember too much about the story. Like, I read it, it was okay, and then I moved on really fast. This is book 2 in the Dogwood Lane series. Maybe if I read book 1, it would have made a bit of a difference, but I'm not sure I'll continue with this series or this author. If you do like this author, let me know if there's something of hers that I should read that might change my mind about her. Next is Welcome to the Dark Side by Giana Darling. This one I read with my best friends Sarah and Jessica from Peace Love Books. We did a live chat for it. this past weekend. Go check it out if you want. I'll leave the link down below. This is book 2 in the Fallen Men series. This is a motorcycle club series. The hero is the president of the motorcycle club, and he falls in love with a much younger heroine who is actually like the same age as his daughter. I promise it's not creepy, it's not weird. Giana Darling did a really good job at making sure that there was nothing creepy about it. The heroine is very mature for her age. She grew up with cancer, so she's not oblivious to the harsh realities of the world. Lou is completely an adult by the time anything happens between her and Zeus, and when they do happen, it gets very steamy. This book is crazy hot. Zeus has a filthy mouth on him, but at the heart of it, their love story is something that's really beautiful. Like, Lou brings out the heart and softness out of Zeus, and Zeus brings out the strong, independent woman out of Lou. They're just really great characters. I enjoyed getting to know more of this motorcycle club, and I'm very, very excited to read book 3, who's about Zeus's daughter. And if you want to join in on our read of book 3, Good Gone Bad, feel free to. At the end of August, we'll be doing a live video chat like we did for the past 2 books, so please join us if you want to. Next, I read Bad Apple by Elle Kennedy. This is a re-release of an older book called Midnight Temptations, but it's pretty much almost all new material. I personally hadn't read it yet, so reading Bad Apple was completely new to me. It was like a new release, so that was exciting since I love Elle Kennedy. If you love the falling for the famous celebrity trope, you'll love this one. The hero is a famous actor, and the heroine is a waitress trying to make her way through college. She has no idea who he is, and he finds that relieving and refreshing. Their meet cute is very unique, pretty hilarious. The heroine, Maggie, like twice a year she meets up with her fuck buddy, and this time she was told to meet at a hotel, so she goes into the room and it's occupied and she thinks it's that guy, but it turns out it's not. It's instead our hero Ben. She strips down naked and gets into bed with him. Ben wakes up and is like, whoa, what is this hot naked lady doing in my bed? Do I even care? But Maggie quickly realizes that she got the wrong guy and apologizes like crazy. They end up talking more and somehow become roommates. With benefits. I really enjoyed the story. I love that the hero was the one who wanted to pursue more in terms of a relationship with the heroine. It's just a fun and flirty book. It's not that long, it's a pretty quick read. So if you love Elle Kennedy, you definitely should be reading this one. Next up is Coming Up Roses by Staci Hart. The cover for this one is so beautiful, so gorgeous. I love it. And it fits perfectly because our main characters work at a flower shop. Luke Bennett has come home to his family in Manhattan to help out with the failing flower shop that's been in their family for generations. Tess has been a longtime worker there. They used to be really close friends, except that one time Luke kissed her and the next day he completely ignored her, completely ignored the fact that they even kissed, and moved on with her best friend. So Tess has some resentment against him, but the more that she gets to know him again, she realizes that he's not the same boy that he used to be. He's kind, compassionate, responsible, and caring, and it's hard for her not to fall for him. Luke, on the other hand, falls very fast for Tess. He knows that he has his work cut out for him when it comes to Tess, but he works so hard to gain her trust and is very determined to work his way into her heart. I think my favorite part of this book is the Bennett family. They are such a close-knit, hilarious, wonderful family. The siblings and the parents play a really big role in the story. You get to learn about them all so well, and I really hope that Staci continues on with writing more stories about the Bennetts. The last book in this wrap-up is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. That is The Bromance Book Club by Lyssa K. Adams. I read this one and I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as I was hoping I would, but it's a very solid contemporary romance read. It's a second chance romance between a married couple. The hero finds out that his wife has been faking all her orgasms with him, and he overreacts and moves out. By the time he realizes that he doesn't really want to leave his family, his wife wants a divorce. Gavin obviously doesn't want that, and he gets help from his teammates in the form of a bromance book club. All of the guys in this book club at some point had relationship issues and needed help fixing it, and what better way to fix a relationship than by learning through a romance novel. The romance book club was hilarious. I love the guys in this club. I even enjoyed the small snippets of the book that Gavin is assigned to read, which is like this historical romance called Courting the Countess. So yeah, this was a great read. It wasn't perfect, but I had a fun time reading it, and I think most people will too. So that was my wrap up for the month of July. I'll probably be doing an August TBR video soon. Let me know what some of your favorite books you read this month were, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!